Welcome back to another episode of Trading Card History, where we dive deep into picture collectibles' rich journey from the 1800s to today. From baseball to Beatles, from football to fashion, and from pre-war to Pokemon, we will be covering every flavor of cards, the stories around them, and the people that made them happen. Let's resume. Part 9. The Collecting Community Identity, 1977 to 1985. The only thing greater than the cards themselves is the community around them. Up until now, the community lacked identity. People would meet at local card or game stores and talk about the cards. Friends would show each other their binders, but that's about as far as it went. In this pre-smartphone, pre-internet age, it was very difficult for collectors to meet one another and build friendships around their shared interests. The late 1970s were a pop culture boom. Star Trek, MASH, Elvis, the Beatles, the opening of Disney World, and the 1977 release of a little movie called Star Wars. The modern pop culture wave hit kids and young adults like a truck, and people wanted a place to be themselves. To satiate this demand, a few friends got together in the mid-1970s and started a convention in San Diego called Comic-Con. They were unsure if it would be successful, but they opened the doors to thousands of enthusiasts craving this sense of community. The 4-day event was a hit, and it spurred card collectors to develop their own. In 1980, the National Sports Card Convention was born. This was the first time that collectors from across the nation were drawn to a single spot for the sole reason of trading cards. As the name suggests, it was mostly geared towards sports cards and other memorabilia, but there was still a strong presence of non-sports as well. The first convention was held at a hotel in Los Angeles and had a few hundred participants, but has since grown into a massive phenomenon with over 100,000 annual attendees. This helped legitimize the hobby in a lot of ways. A central hub for collectors to gather a few isolated people from across the country into a true unified group. As this and other shows began sprouting across the country and worldwide, people not only made friends, but also shared ideas and showed each other new cards, which created national interest for previously niche items. The hobby's taste in cards began expanding as well. In this young hobby, baseball held an overwhelming handle on collectors. Other sports, such as football and basketball, had some popularity, and non-sports were collected by the smaller niches of people. One set came out that made a major change in this mentality: 1977 Star Wars cards. Produced by Topps, this set was similar to the other movie card releases in that it featured scenes from the new movie, but it sets itself apart from the past movie sets due to its immense popularity. Donruss had the first shot at producing the Star Wars cards, but they passed, as production had to begin before the release of the film, meaning the company had to gamble on whether it would be popular or not. Previous years, movie cards had not had much success, so they deferred the cards license to Topps. The first set was released congruently with the film, which became an international success. The cards were in such high demand that 4 more card sets were released through the rest of 1977 and early 1978 with different color borders and characters. As this was happening, the hobby matured in other ways as well. Up until now, card prices were basically pulled out of thin air, with savvy buyers getting cards for dirt cheap from unknowing sellers, and rookie buyers getting swindled, with no way to reference prices. A statistics professor and avid card enthusiast by the name of James Beckett III noticed this and decided he could do something to help. In 1976, he began going to card shows and polling the sellers on how much they sold certain key cards for, and once he felt he had a large enough sample size for that card, he'd remove the outliers and come up with an average price for that card. He would publish these numbers in hobby newspapers, and they were an instant hit. Any sports collector knows that sports junkies are obsessed with statistics, and he was bringing price statistics to their favorite hobby for the first time. It became a regular column in hobby newspapers before Beckett gained a partner, Dennis X, and they published their own guide, the Sport Americana Baseball Card Price Guide, in 1979. This was an annual release with 10 full-time analysts gathering data to produce the most accurate prices possible. As the guide became more popular, they increased the amount of sets included, making it by far the most comprehensive source around. Price stability and dealer regulation were much needed as card prices grew, so this resource became invaluable to collectors and sellers alike. Just 5 years later, due to some creative differences between Beckett and X, they parted ways. X continued producing the Sport Americana price guides with his new partner, Christopher Benjamin, and Beckett split off, creating his own guide, the Beckett Monthly. These became rival price guides, but both maintained success, with the Sport Americana being the first one to expand into non-sports. This spawned the ironic and awkwardly named Sport Americana Guide to Non-Sports Cards. While both versions existed, the Beckett Monthly was the more popular of the two and found its way into backpacks of children everywhere, selling over 1 million copies per release. Around the time of this split, Beckett began denoting rookie cards with an RC next to the name. As Beckett began differentiating rookies, they also started increasing the value in their catalog attached to those rookie cards. This is widely considered some of the first hype towards rookies, and it saw massive collector demand and price increases over specific cards. Up until this point, collectors were aware of which card was a rookie card, but there was not much fanfare around it compared to any other year. Beckett listed the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle as a rookie card, despite the 51 Bowman existing. Whether this was done through error or intention, it helped establish the 1952 Topps Mantle as the post-war grail of the hobby, even more than it already was. Collectors began to criticize Beckett for not simply reporting the prices, but creating markets and manipulating those prices. Since James Beckett was an active card dealer alongside his magazine business, he stopped all of his dealings with card buying and selling directly to avoid any conflict of interest criticism. As the rookie card craze heightened through the early 1980s, one of the most affected cards was Pete Rose's 1963 rookie card. In 1983, Pete Rose started to get very close to passing Ty Cobb's all-time hitting record that had stood for 50 years. Beckett began mentioning this approaching record in every edition of their magazine, with a green arrow next to his RC denoted card, telling everybody it was going up in value. It is hard to say whether the chicken came before the egg, but his card prices responded immediately. Collectors flocked to his rookie card, causing it to increase almost 10x over a 2-year span, to about $400 in 1983. Due to this demand spike, counterfeit cards began entering card shows in waves. This was one of the first examples of counterfeiting plaguing the hobby, and innocent collectors were paying hundreds of dollars for worthless knockoffs. It became such a problem that the Los Angeles Police Department began hoarding as many of these fakes as they could. Instead of destroying them, they chose a very odd solution by stamping the back with a label that says counterfeit, original reprint, then releasing them back into the market. These stamped counterfeits became a collectible of their own, commanding a strong price tag in the market as a substitute for those who could not afford an authentic copy. Rookie cards became a way of betting on a player's career. Speculation on the rookie cards of young stars emerged with players like Don Mattingly. Due to the massive price increases of specific rookie cards, trading cards began being spoken in the same breath as traditional investments. Newspapers like the Wall Street Journal were comparing return rates of the S&P to a Don Mattingly rookie card, and people were taking it seriously. Entering the mid-1980s, collectors seemed to not be able to fathom cards dropping in value. If a player performed well, it was seen as a surefire increase in price for his rookie card. Collectors began paying astronomical prices for young emerging stars after a few big games without any discretion of how many cards may exist for that player, which brings us into, I'm sure you can predict, the next generation.